So I had a customer bring a machine in a couple of days ago. It doesn't work. I can't get it to work. I think it's broken. Can you look at it for me? Last chance. Otherwise I'm going to have to get another one. And I was able to fix that machine same day. The truth is, a lot of the time it's down to the same common problems that I see pretty much every week. And I'm going to share these with you today. And I'm also going to share with you what you need to do to make sure they don't happen to you. Mistake number one, putting the bobbin in backwards. So that's your bobbin, well wound. Now depending what sort of machine you've got, if you've got what is called a front loader, you use a bobbin case, looks like this, metal one. If you've got a top loader inside your machine, you don't always have to take it out. I'll take it out to show you today. This is your bobbin case, mostly made of black plastic. Now the weird thing is, for reasons that take far too long for me to go into, all to do with the way the hook works, on a front loader, the bobbin needs to go in as if the tail of thread, like a 9 or a Q, hanging off to that side, and basically goes in like that. You bring it round like that, snap it in, I hold it. That's good. That's in now. That's in correctly, because the thread is hanging off to the right hand side, or as I say, like a 9 or a Q. On a top loader, it goes the other way, so it looks like a P. And basically what you do when you do it is you drop it in, imagine inside the machine, there's a little click, and it's, you know, I can't hold it up to test it, but I can feel that's under tension. That's in the right way, it's gone through the little clip, and that's correct. Now, why does that matter? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but both times I did that, the thread folded back on itself. So it kinked back both ways when it went into the little clips that it goes into. And that adds tension into the thread, into the stitch. You can put the bobbins in the other way round, you can put them in incorrectly, but basically there won't be sufficient tension. And so your stitch won't look as nice. And you'll be adjusting your tension trying to get it right. And the problem is you put the bobbin in round the wrong way. Mistake number two, sewing over pins. Now, you can see I do this all the time. There you go. I'll put my pins out as if I'm going to sew. Take the pins out as you go. Don't sew over the top of the pins. We'll do it by mistake, that's fine. But don't do it deliberately. So why do I say this? Well, most of the time you'll probably get away with it. The sewing machine needle will pass over the pin. You've been lucky. It might even strike the pin and you'll get away with it. But one day you'll hit this pin, and if you're lucky, you'll break the needle. If you're unlucky, you deflect the needle and it goes down inside and it will hit part of the machine. And it can damage that, it can knock the machine out of time, and then your machine doesn't sew properly anymore. So you need to bring it to someone like me. Inside your machine, I'll show you the one on a front loader, is this little thing. It's called a shuttle hook. Spiky hook, there you go. Quite sharp. And that has to be in the right place, so in time with your needle, and needs to be in a clean condition to pick up the loop of thread to make the stitch. So anything that stops that happening, so you banging into it and knocking the hook out the way, or you banging into it and damaging the hook, may very well mean that your machine won't sew anymore. And you'll have to come and see someone like me, because at the outside you'll have to have the machine retimed, or possibly you'll have to get this repaired or, very extreme, replaced. Number three, using old and basically cheap thread. So I've got a couple of threads here. If you're in the UK and you've sewn for any length of time, you'll probably recognise this. This is Silco thread on a wooden reel. People do collect these, and why not? They look quite nice. But some people continue to use them or want to use them for sewing. Silco hasn't been made for around a quarter of a century now. And if I give it, and I'm going to talk about the snap test, I've got it around my fingers, that breaks really easily. what happens basically with polyester threads is over time they do start to, particularly if they're in sunlight and stuff like that, they will start to break down a bit and not be as strong as they used to be. Likewise, you know, you're in a supermarket or a cheap shop and you see some thread, it's got no name on it, but it seems to be like a real bargain. You know, so you buy a whole load of it, that snaps really easily. You kind of get what you pay for. Now, why am I talking to you about this stuff? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, because it's quite soft, it breaks quite easily. It means it's also likely to break easily when you sew with it, when you put your seam under any pressure. Secondly, I mean, these aren't too bad, but sometimes when you feel these threads, you can feel little lumps of lint in them. Well, they're going to get trapped in your machine, trapped in your needle. Not a good idea. So what I'm going to suggest is don't use the old threads. By all means use them for hand sewing and hand basting, but they're not really strong enough for modern machine sewing. Likewise, when you see threads like this, yeah, you just need to be careful. If they break easily, they're not really worth it. Now admittedly we sell this stuff in the shop, but this is if I can get it out. This is Gutermann thread. This is their Sewall thread. This is polyester. It's really smooth, really nice, and takes a bit of more. It will break, and you need it to. You don't want the ones that don't break at all and cut your fingers when you try and do that. That goes the other way. But that's a really decent thread, not massively expensive, and you know you're putting the time into making something. Use the best that you can get. These are polyester threads. Gutermann also do a cotton thread. They do lots of threads, but they do a cotton thread. And just to let you know, the cotton thread will snap more easily. It has a lower, it's still got something in it, has a lower tensile strength. So the other thing you really shouldn't be doing is mixing polyester and cotton threads on your machine. Are you having one thread on your bobbin and one thread at the top of your machine, or the other way around, whatever? Because they've got different tensile strengths and your stitch won't form properly because one will bite into the other one. Enjoying this video so far? Please like and subscribe. Mistake number 4 is actually how you look after and store your sewing machine. This one, as you can imagine, is beyond repair. I use it to demonstrate to people, and sometimes I do talks on looking after your sewing machine, and people are fascinated by what goes on inside, and I get it, they're complicated things. But one of the reasons why I wasn't able to save this machine, and I will take some photos to show you a bit more closely, is that there's rust inside this machine. Basically, this machine had been stored somewhere damp, and that's not a good idea. So I'm going to suggest to you not keeping your sewing machine in the loft, not keeping it in the garage, not keeping it in the conservatory. So, you know, somewhere cool, somewhere dry. On that point, when you have your machine out on the table and you're using it, if it's something that's going to be living there for a little while, or you permanently keep it out, well, great if you've got a hard case. Some machines still come with them, but the soft cases you get now with these machines, they're not really that great. They crack and they break. They're not very good. And the thing I'm trying to make here is you really need to keep the dust off this machine. You don't want it getting inside the machine. You don't want anybody spilling anything on it or dropping anything on it. So one of the things we have in this country, in the UK, we call them bags for life. This one's a very natty one. I'm sure you've got equivalents wherever you go. And of course what you can do, little tip, get hold of one, turn it upside down. So it's still a soft cover, but it's more robust than the dust covers you tend to get with sewing machines now. And it will keep the dust off, keep it clean, easy to take on and off. Of course, if you turn it around the other way and you need to move the machine will go in the bags. You know, find one that fits. So yeah, I mean, over the years I've had machines with paint splatters on them. So somebody's obviously decorated in the room where the sewing machine was being kept. I've had broken light bulbs inside the machine. What else did I have? Oh yeah, somebody had been putting pound coins inside the machine. Somebody's grandchild had been putting pound coins inside the machine. So Oh yeah, the torn up pizza menu. That was a weird one. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is really cover them over, look after them. If you're leaving them out for any length of time, unplug the foot pedal. Don't leave that plugged in, because if somebody trips over that, I've had people pull them off the table. I've had people damage the jacks where the plugs go into the machine. Not cheap, if it can be fixed at all. Just look after them. Keep them somewhere dry. Keep them somewhere safe. Well, I hope you found that really useful. If you did, please subscribe. If you've got any questions, please comment. I'm always happy to read those, always happy to answer those. And watch this one next.